All right. You know, I don't know if you read the title, but that is not a joke. I'm not joking. This is a real thing. They are trying to create food from poop. And it's because of space. Like it's a weird. I honestly, when I first read this, I was kind of yeah, let me just dive right in and just show you guys cuz I mean, it's real. Okay? I'm not joking when I say this. And this is an old article, but I have a newer one. So they're continuing to perfect this. Okay? This is a real thing. They're making space food with space poop. Mom, I saw you laughing in chat. I know it's pretty now I've talked about this kind of stuff before because of the 3D printed meat. You guys remember me talking about this? Hold on, where's this article? This is actually a website of a company called Stakeholder, crafting the future of plant-based eating. Now, personally, I even though I'm not vegan anymore, I would try this because I think that there's something to it. Like, let me The Matrix, the movie The Matrix. Remember where Neo goes to the real world finally and he's sitting around at breakfast and they're all eating this slop, and it's just like, well, what is it? Well, it's just a complex something of amino acids and everything the body needs. Well, not everything the body needs. Would you try to eat the poop? No, 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 hold on. I'm talking about the 3D printed meat Metastep. Okay. I would try it because I see this as an application towards living in space. When you're on a spaceship and you can't have a cow with you, you can't like freeze a bunch of steaks. I mean, maybe you can freeze one or something in like the deep freeze, but to be able to 3D print food, or I mean, the next step, I mean, there is talk of a physical laser. Bear with me, okay? I was watching a Joe Rogan interview with a Sunny White. Ashton Forbes mentioned it, and I had to watch it. In fact, I've watched it twice now because it's just that fascinating. He's talking about folding space to be able to warp basically and, well, essentially step through a hole and end up on another area in space, which is amazing. But he also talks about a physical laser, a laser beam capable of emitting physical matter. And that's crazy sounding, but I apparently the technology exists. And it's something about collapsing a physical thing down to a 2D like basically creating light, like a light, but it's physical. I am not smart enough to explain it. I apologize. Go watch the episode with Sunny White. Anyway, but that technology, if built up, is a replicator. Star Trek, beep, T, Earl Grey. It just it beams all of the things that you would need to create tea Earl Grey, right? Or a steak, right? Well, what is a steak? I mean, it's a bunch of DNA, it's a bunch of atoms that are built together in a certain way. Obviously, it's cut from a cow, but if the technology was good enough to be able to replicate it, 3D printing is just it's like the base form. It's going from bows and arrows, or not even going from a hatchet to creating a bow. Like it's the next evolution, and then like the replicator would be the gun. It's like I see it advancing to the point of being a possibility. Now that's just talking about 3D printing meat, right? Or I guess fish, because they have apparently they have fish. Can I not go? Thank you. Fish and meat products. Now that doesn't really look like steak to me, but I bet this tastes good. Now, I don't like that they're trying to make it meat, I don't think it's necessary. Um Let's see. Uniform texture and taste. Mom, would you try this? I bet you would try it. Or maybe not. I don't know. It's like the roast, you know? This looks like raw meat. Okay. Yeah, I could see some of it. Like I'm like looking over here. This piece right here doesn't look like meat to me. But like maybe these middle parts do a little bit. You have people like Fauci and Bill Gates. Yeah, okay. That's true. They call it Salisbury steak. It looks like cheap microwave dinner Salisbury steak. You know what? I loved Salisbury steak. When I was growing up and I got the Salisbury steak hungry, man, you know? I mean, that actually looks pretty tasty. But imagine you're in space, you're on a incredibly long voyage. I mean, I don't know what the future of space travel. I mentioned Sunny White and that they are working on wormholes, legitimately folding space to be able to just go boop and then unfolding it, and you're all the way over there. So instead of having to physically go 2 million light, or 1,000 light years, or I don't know what the closest star system is, Proxima B or something, they would just go whoop, step through, and then unfold, and then you're there. And it's just like as if you just left, which would be incredible. How much plastic is in that? That's a great question. I actually was trying to find out. I was looking through this website trying to find out what is in it, but of course they don't. It doesn't show that. So I'm not really sure. I'm been cruising through. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what is in it, but I'm assuming it's like probably a wheat gluten, um as probably like the base of like of what it is, and that's not plastic. I wouldn't say I wouldn't think they would have any plastic in there, to be honest. You know, that wouldn't feel I don't know, appropriate. But I've totally sidetracked myself into the 3D printed stuff because of space travel, right? This space food thing I have always found fascinating. I think it's something that we're going to have to deal with. It's an inevitability that we are going to be adventuring out into space, away from Earth, where all the cows live, all the food that we grow is. So we're going to have to take everything with us. And to me, it makes sense that we would have like a few tanks of something that we could hit a button and it uses up a certain amount, like a liquid that it uses and combines with water and something else to create a food. And this company, it could be a steak or a fish fillet. And that's pretty fascinating that you can have a 3D printer that can print that for you. You know, it's it's interesting. So we need to fix things here first. But yeah, well, obviously, but I want to. They're working on food in space, and I'm fascinated by it. So I'm enjoying myself here. Okay, so that leads me to finding this. All right, I saw an image of someone talking about space poop, and I just food. Excuse me, food made from space poop, and I just was like, "There's no way this is real." There's this can't be real. But sure enough, okay, this looks really weird, by the way. I'm not sure what's exactly happening here. I guess this is a space toilet. Interesting. I see where the where you stick your dick into, but what are these things? Are the Oh, okay, this must be to strap your legs down so you don't go flying, right? So when you poop, because there's no there's no there's no gravity. So technically you are creating a creating momentum. You have some exhaust that's going to push you this way because you're pooping that way, little propellant, a poopellant if you will. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, Humans have wanted to go to Mars for a long time. NASA says it wants to send people there by the 2030s. Well, I mean, we know that it's not going to be NASA. It's going to be SpaceX. Oh, of course, this was 2018 when this article was written. I have a newer one I'm going to read next. Well, private companies like SpaceX have proposed building colonies on the red planet. And I suggest Muskport. I think that's a good name, Muskport, for the first. Anyway, there are, of course, a lot of kinks that have to be worked out for us to get there. One of them is living in an enclosed space with a few other people for months on end. 7 months, I believe, is the trip to Mars. No, thank you. I kind of wish I read that. This is NPR, and it was an anti-Trump ad, wasn't it? Hold on, let me go back. What did that say? What did that say? Hold on, I gotta. Come on, come on. There it is. President Trump has signed a bill that eliminates 1.1 billion of federal funding for public media. This decision is devastating for NPR. Oh, that's what it says, by the way. The little ad that popped up. That is wonderful. That is hilarious, and I'm now realizing I'm actually reading NPR again. It's okay. This is about space poop. It's hard to shove propaganda in there when they're talking about space poop. But of course, there was a pop-up to ensure that it's in there. Okay, anyway. Another is the human need for food. Packing all the food and water for a Mars mission would take up a lot of room and would use lots of fuel. Trying to grow food would use up a lot of energy. Now, scientists at Penn State think they've found a way for astronauts to create food with help from their own human waste. Well, in the movie The Martian, right? Didn't he used old poop and then he like mixed it with something and then cut potatoes in half to then grow potato plants, right? So I don't know. It's a movie, obviously, but I feel like the science was appropriate. Anyway, okay. Let's see. Lisa Steinberg, a former postdoctoral astrobiology researcher at the school who now works as a science lab supervisor at Delaware County Community College, told NPR's Scott Simon about how the multi-step process works. We collect the solid and liquid waste from the astronaut, and we put it down into a reactor where we have a mixed group of bacteria that break that waste down. And from that, they produce methane, which is a gas. Thank you. We knew that. And then that methane can be fed to a second type of bacteria that it grows up, and then the cells themselves have a lot of protein. Have a lot of fat. Okay. And a lot of fat, I guess. Fat, actually very interesting. Okay, so they mix it with a bacteria that eats it, and it produces methane. And then that methane is fed to another bacteria that grows up, and that is what you eat. Disgusting. That is disgusting. Oh, can you imagine the flavor of eating bacteria that's packed full of nutrients, but was eating the methane from your own shit? And now, doesn't 3D printed meat, which would you prefer? Tell me honestly, you're in space. Which would you rather eat? Would you rather eat this bacteria based off of, the eating the methane from your own shit in the cyclical nature? Because then you eat it and then you shit out and then it, creates the process over again. Or would you rather eat you'd rather starve? No, you have to pick one, Mark. You got to pick one. I'm picking 3D printed meat. Shit propelled? Thank you. That's pretty hilarious. Yeah. Jackals of Terra Argentum dropping a tenner. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you. Over $1 trillion spent on employing useless radicals and brainwashing our children. Utterly revolting and arguably treasonous. 100% national public radio. It's national propaganda radio. Let's be real. Final pick 3D printed meat. Ha! I knew it. I'll never eat poop under any circumstance. Well, technically, you're not eating the poop. The bacteria eats the poop, emits methane. The methane is eaten by bacteria that then you eat. So technically, you're not eating poop. No? I wouldn't eat it either. It sounds absolutely disgusting. The process can grow a bacterium called Methylococcus capsulatus. Wait, capsulatus. Methylcoccus. It's got a hilarious name. It's already in use today as animal feed. Dude, that makes me feel even... No, I can't feel less interested. It's impossible for me to feel less interested in this. Yeah. No, I'm good. I am good. All right, let's advance forward. This one's much more recently. I think it's this year. Wait, is there not a date on it? What? Wait. What? I thought this does it not have a date on it? Anyway, scientists working on converting human waste into food for astronauts. Let's see if this is hold on, let me just check. Give me one sec. How stuff works. Which is the link that I just picked on? Okay, this is from 2024. Okay, yeah. I thought this was recent. Yeah. Let's see if it's changed at all. If they have something different. Scientists have this is Penn State. Okay, I think this is different, right? What was the other one? It wasn't Penn State. Oh, it is Penn State. Wow, so they've advanced it. So this is like 6 years later. Microbial. Oh my gosh. Researchers, for better or worse, have already called the result a microbial goo. That's sort of like Vegemite. Oh, oh my gosh. Why would they call it that? Oh my god. Okay. Microbial goo. 3D printed meat. Which one are you picking? Ugh. Oh, nah. I'm good. I think that's disgusting. You know what? I used to want to go to space. I really did. I wanted to go to space. I wanted to be an astronaut. I was going to join the Air Force and fly jets and then finally go to be an astronaut. That was my plan when I was a kid. And I found out because I was colorblind that I couldn't join the Air Force and fly jets anyway. And I was very disappointed. I was really sad to find that out. And here I am. But now I have a wonderful family. And I want to make a bigger... I'd rather stay here and make a bigger family. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Red-green colorblind? I think so, Leon. Yeah. I think so. Are you? Anyone here colorblind? Anyone else? Anyone else colorblind? Corbin, you? Nice. Word. Yeah, it sucks because later on in life I found... Well, it doesn't suck because I love my life. So I'm grateful for everything that's happened. I love it. So, you can't get past the firmament? Oh, stop it. Messed up. Okay. I'm kind of deaf. I see good, though. Nice. That's cool. Yeah, I would rather not be deaf and be colorblind. You know what I mean? Mark, you're colorblind too? Right on. Mark Clark celebrating 11 months, almost a year already, of the long-haired hippie. Not yet. It's coming back. Huh? Look at this. It's finally to the stage of... It's kind of like it's a style. I can just tuck it behind my ears. I don't have to wear a hat anymore. The reason I wore a hat is because I didn't feel like doing my hair. I'm I'm just lazy. just I'm ready to go, you know? Um, so boom, it's grunge level. True. Dude, and in 2 months, it'll be like slightly longer grunge, perfect for my set. September 13th, by the way, we got Quarter Black Garrett, Flawedzilla. We are negotiating with Call. There's a chance. The last thing I heard from him was, "Oh, Flawed's going too?" And Garrett's gonna buy me a ticket? Mark Clark for 10. If you're singing, can I get the happiness song you've got? Happiness. If you're singing, can I get the happiest song you've got? Well, you just dropped a tenner and asked for the happiest song that I've got. Chat, what is the happiest song of mine? I'll play a song for you for sure. What's the happiest song of mine? I'm not gonna play Africa, Leon. No. Okay, Walking With You. Yeah, that's pretty good. You're right. The meetup got a shout out on Normal World. Oh, dude, my man. That's freaking Garrett, dude. He's a G. What a freaking G. I mean, it's basically it's legitimately a meetup for him too. Like, if you want to meet Garrett, if you want to meet Flawed, if you want to meet me, come to the meetup. It's gonna be awesome. I've got my family's gonna be there. My dad, my sister, my mom. Well, my stepmom. Potentially my mom, my real mom. I started. What is the song that I was doing earlier? Oh my gosh, I remembered a song that I never played for you guys. Sounds like a lot of pressure. Nah, not in the slightest. I mean, I played live in front of. I think the last time we played on Timcast IRL, there was like 40,000 people watching us on Friday. So like live online, 40,000 people. I was not phased at all. Like not even in a little bit. So like being in front of my friends and family, playing my own songs, it's nothing. All right, this is for Mark Clark because he asked for the happiest song I've got. Took a walk tonight with my love, and all the cats in the streets, like us, they're trying to find a way home. Yeah, face life and land on their feet. I'm talking about them little things that make you sing, feel like a natural high inside, like a sunshine and rain. Fresh coffee, start my day. I'm just glad I found my way home with you. I've been walking it's so long. Now I'm walking with you. I've been walking, it's so long. Well, now I'm walking with you. I've been walking, it's so long. Now I'm walking with you. I've been walking, it's so long. Now I'm walking with sunsets along the colony. All good dogs and bad on their way. Oh, like yourself trying to find a peace of mind. Yeah, face life in its insanity. Of course, I'm talking about them little things. Little things that make you sing and feel alright. Natural high inside, like sunshine and rain. Fresh coffee to start my day, and I'm just glad I found my way with you. I've been walking it so long, and now I'm walking with you. I've been walking it so long, yeah, now I'm walking with you. I've been walking it so long, well, now I'm walking with you. Yeah, now I'm walking with you. And I felt it from the start. Yeah, connection from the start. Yeah, I've been walking it so long, and I'm walking with you. Yeah, I'm walking with you. Now I'm walking with you. Wait, how is this a drinking song? That's not a drinking song. Right on, Ashley. Ashley, have you reconsidered maybe coming to Chicago for the meetup? Huh? I know at least you're thinking about it, right? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Mark Clark, that was for you. Hora Murado says, any song is a drinking game if you drink enough. Okay, that's true. That's true. Are you coming? Are you coming in September? Are you two coming? You better be coming, because we got an all-star lineup. Every song is a drinking game if you're an alcoholic. I mean, I could see that too. Lord of the Reefer 2 says, I wrote 2 new songs while you were away, and I just need to record vocals, and I have a new song out this week. I was thinking about having some stickers made or something and giving them out in September. Awesome. I love that. That's a W right now. I only drink to fun songs, so for me, it is a drinking song. Okay, chat. You walk into a bar, bartender says, you get the next song on the jukebox. What do you want? Go. You know what I'm picking? This is my go-to. Walk into a bar with your friends. You're hanging out. First song, Fat Bottom Girls. Fat Bottom Girls, Queen. So I'm talking about. Everybody starts singing along. Black Dog. Come On, Eileen. Cherry Pie. Okay, all right. There would be a poppin' bar. Sweet Caroline. Rhea is like bringing the old stuff. Okay. It's old. That's old now. Come on. Let's be real. I mean, Fat Bottom Girls is not new either. So it's also old. Horror, he will be playing only on the 13th. Correct. Still working on it. Actually wanted to check if you're going to be there just the day or what, just so we know how to schedule. Okay. Here's the thing. Because Garrett and Flawed are going to be there, and potentially a few others in my circle. I'm not going to say who, but I'm going to be in Chicago for almost the whole month of September. I'm going for my brother's wedding. So my brother's getting married. It's the following weekend. So the weekend before my brother's wedding, it's kind of perfect because, you know, it's like the lull before the storm, and then I have a meetup, and then I hang out for a week, and then my brother's wedding. I'm very excited about it. So I'll be there for like 3 weeks. So Garrett, I think, gets there Friday and leaves Monday, and he's gonna be staying at my dad's house with me. So I don't know yet, hidden, but they're trying to coordinate. They haven't told me about when the meetup is in England, but there's a high probability that I will be there. So get Ricada to go. Oh shit, yeah, I should tell him. Like, hey, drive down. Drive down to my meetup. I'm gonna do that. I'm legitimately hitting him up right now. Oh yeah, it's not. He doesn't go by Nick Ricada. It's Ricada Law. Yo, I am having a meetup in September in Chicago. You should totally come down. Okay. I had to do that for show. For show. Nikki the Nose. Dude, Nick Ricada is awesome. Say people hate on him now. I don't care. He's a homie. Just trying to decide if we were just going down to drive down for the day or after. What should we plan? Okay. Sorry. Thank you for bringing me back on track. So, Sunday, we're going to romp around Chicago. Now, I know Chicago. I grew up in Chicago, so I know a lot about Chicago. Hold on. He's already responded. Let me give him, I got my flyer. Where's my flyer? Give me 1 second. I really want to make this happen. That would be so awesome. Your message cannot be sent. What the fuck? Why not? Try again. Try again. What the hell? What's happening? I would love to. Give me details. Oh, oh shit. Yo, hyped. Okay. Trying to send. What the fuck? Why isn't this poster sending? Are you doing a show or anything you can hire me for? My fee is a Pepsi. I am legit playing a music set, actually. I'm not going to repeat what he just said to me. Ricada's hilarious. What the fuck? Why can't I send this image to him? Let me just try again. Your message cannot be sent. What the fuck? Okay. Sorry, chat. There's a chance he's gonna come. That's pretty badass. Who told me to ask him? Who just did that? Mark Guidetti? I think it was Mark Guidetti. You don't have to pay me though. I'll buy you a Pepsi. Hell yeah. Dude, the meetup grows. Let me just give him the deets real quick. I'm just gonna tell. I want to like. I already asked permission, and like my dad's cool with me having Garrett stay over. But I think if I'd like listen, I've got like I've got like 3 or 4 of like my favorite internet people coming. Can they all crash? Man. Yeah, I don't care. But how awesome would it be to finally meet him though? That would be awesome. For me, I want to meet him. I need pictures of everyone sleeping on the couch. No, I'll do you one better. And if you're gonna be there, you two are gonna be involved too. So you know the Step Brothers. Hold on, I have the picture because I brought it up. All right, so okay, so I want to do this with Garrett, with me, Garrett, Flawed, Call. If Call comes, all right, we're gonna go out and I want to get matching sweaters. And I want to do like cheesy portrait photos of us all. And like if Arcade is there, but like everyone who comes to there and like is a part of like the internet circle that I'm in, you have to get a matching sweater where I don't know what it's gonna be. But it's gonna be awesome like that. And then we're gonna go around Chicago, and then I want to do like album covers from the Beatles or like silly something where we're all like hugging each other, like a centipede in front of like Lake Michigan. Just like the stupidest shit. Oh, guys, you know what I learned? Remember we were just talking about the Sears Tower yesterday versus the Willis Tower? Get this. I was looking through a bunch of photos. I got a bunch of pictures of my little brother, the one who's getting married, and I'm gonna give them to him, and it's just like him as a baby, him as like a little 4-year-old, 5-year-old, looking up to me, and I forgot those moments, but it was like they're so sweet these images, and I'm gonna give him these pictures for part of the wedding gift. I got another thing I'm getting him, but I just think it's very sweet. Anyway. I'm looking through these and I find my grandfather, my father's father. I talked about him before on the show. He helped design, or he worked, he was as an architecture on the St. Louis Arch, right? You know, the big St. Louis Arch, for those who know. I know Reed knows, he's down there. Now, he also worked on the Sears Tower. How freaking dope is that? I was like, oh shit. My freaking grandpa was a G. So hyped. Hold on one sec. I can't say certain things out loud. I've got funny friends. I can't wait for my meetup, guys. I've lived near St. Louis for 15 years and never been to the Arch. I've seen it. I'm from Chicago. I've driven past the Arch. I kid you not, probably like over 20 times. Down through St. Louis to Florida and back, down into Missouri for fishing, driving up from Texas. I've driven past that thing a lot in my life. I've never been to it either. So Adam is already having cheesy dad ideas. Yeah, but it's not for my kids. It's for it's for me and my homies. Like, imagine how awesome the thumbnails are gonna be for when I actually have like us in cheesy sweaters in different locations around Chicago. Arch is dope. I'm just not going to St. Louis unless I absolutely have to. Yeah, I agree with that. I 100% am with you on there. For sure. Oh, shout. Okay. All right, let's get to this cool discovery that I saw. Hold on, where's my tweet about it? Oh shit, I went past. I gotta go back. Where is that? Fuck. There it is. All right, sweet. Check us out. So I am in like a community on X, which is kind of, I don't have many. I'm in Ancient Civilizations and like Nerds, which is like the Geeks and Gamers guys or whatever. I don't know. They invited me, so I joined it, but I never really look at that one. But this one I peruse often because Forbidden Frontier. Now, and for my own enjoyment, I guess, So a major archaeological find is in Sicily. Now, I'm excited about this for a reason. But let me read this first, actually. So, a 2,500-year-old Greek shipwreck dating to the 6th or 5th BCE, or BCE, anyway, has been discovered just 6 meters beneath the waves off Santa Maria del Focalo. There was a rare preserved mast base, black figure ceramics, an alabastron inscribed now. I don't even know what that is. Ancient rope and anchors, full 3D reconstruction for an upcoming documentary, which is very exciting. Here, let me. Wow, that's loud. I just have it muted. The reason I'm excited about this. Can I just mute it and play? Okay. The Antikythera mechanism. I've talked about this. I hope you guys know about the Antikythera mechanism. It is basically the world's first computer that we know of. Only one complex gear system that was able to track basically our solar system. And that's incredible. And it was found in the Mediterranean off a Greek island, the island of Antikythera, which is the name of the mechanism that is now famous because it is a fascinating thing. Now, this is only 6 meters down, right? Now, what have we learned about what happened during the Younger Dryas 12,000 years ago? The sea levels rose 400 feet or 120 meters. I'm saying meters because they said it was only 6 meters down. I don't know. It's like 25 feet or something, 30 feet, something. I don't know exactly, but what else is down there? Okay. The Antikythera mechanism, it was by a sponge diver. Yes, Leon, exactly. Yeah. And they were stranded because of storms. So they pulled into Antikythera and they were like, whatever, while we're here, let's just try to, salvage our trip and get some more sponges. They started diving down and they found it. And they're like, holy cow. They found this freaking ancient ship. Score. But inside that ship was the Antikythera mechanism. So this is just what I think the beginning of a massive amount of ancient discoveries. We are going to be finding all sorts of stuff because it's underwater. Everything is underwater. We're looking on the land that we know of, right? In some cases, like Pillars of the Past, we had him on Forbidden Frontier. He's going down into Peru. He's a native Peruvian, actually. His whole family's from there anyway. And he goes out and finds these ancient sites, but they're above the water. And I think that's fascinating. But I truly believe at 400 feet down, because where are most cities on the planet? Most cities are on the coasts. They're in the key trading locations for getting on a boat and traveling to the next city for trade, or getting on a river and going all the way down, like the Rhine in Europe, goes straight through. How many cities are on the Rhine in Europe? Probably a lot. I don't know exactly, but countless. I mean, imagine what it looked like when the whole Earth had 400 feet less water on the planet. They found in Indonesia, they just found a city underwater. It's just another proof that we need to look underwater 400 feet down. So I'm excited about this, not because of this discovery per se, right? This is cool, but what I'm excited about is the fact that this is showing that there's more stuff down there. They even say it's just 6 meters beneath the waves. It's just 6 meters down. Well, yeah. Imagine 15 meters. Imagine 40 meters. Imagine 100 meters. And I want them to think about where the cities would be if it was 100 meters down, right? And that's where they should look. The Azores, for example. I mean, the Azores, I just actually found this out, have pyramids on them. Same with the Canary Islands. They claim it's farmers, but I live in farmland with very rocky farmland. Farmers don't just put them in a pyramidal shape aligned to the stars. No, they move them to the edge of the field and get farming. That's how they do it. All right? They don't spend their time building rock structures astronomically aligned, right? No, they move it to the edge of the field and they farm. I mean, that's every single place I've ever been that has rocks in their field. They just move them out of their field so they can farm. So I think down in the Azores somewhere, down in the Canary Islands, under the water, 400 feet down. More money for underwater archaeology, less for gender studies. See, Leon gets it. Yep. Historical cope. Whoa, Mogwai. What do you mean? Oh, are you talking about them claiming it's the farmers? Yeah. You nailed it. Yeah, definitely. Azores also have cart ruts? Wait, really? Oh, cool. I didn't know this. Hold on. Azores cart ruts. I want to look at these. Really? Let's see. Oh, no way. This is the Azores? Wow, I didn't know that. This looks like Turkey, actually. This doesn't look Sardinia. Yeah, okay. That's Turkey, isn't it? Here's Malta. Hold on, but this one is Azores. Yeah, that's cart ruts. Cool. I had no idea. Azores was probably where Atlantis was. Look, this whole conversation, it's fascinating to me. I mean, the Eye of the Sahara, the Richard structure is very intriguing. All right, Metastep, cheers. And Arya, have a great day. Cheers. Thanks for hanging out. I find Jimmy's evidence that he, paints pretty good. You think Jimmy's wrong? I mean, Plato, he says concentric rings, mountains, the Atlas Mountains to the north, opens to the south. It's literally exactly what the Richard structure is. You know what I mean? So it's hard to deny it. And I learned about the isostatic depression and rebounce, whatever, or whatever it's called, the earth readjusting after millions of tons of ice is melted, right? That's not west of the pillars. That's true, west of the pillars of Gibraltar, but there's I forget the map, but there's a map let me bring up like Google Maps so I can actually just show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, so why is that there? Can I get rid of that address that's just there? Recent. Can I delete that? Yes, delete. Okay. I don't like it when it has like previous searches because I use it for navigation sometimes. Okay, so here is the Pillars of Gibraltar, right? So it says west of these, right? But there was also a map that said this is where originally there was a lake here, a giant lake, and a river system that came in from Tunisia here. This specifically this area, right? See, like this whole spot, this used to be a massive water system. And right here was some claim was actually where it used to be. Now, and then this river system came in all throughout this whole area. Not, I mean, and if you look at all of North Africa here, it really does look like a massive, actually, it's this way. A massive wave has just come down, like all of Mauritania. Like, look at this whole section, right? All looks like water just ravaged this whole zone all the way through, right? And then, like, right in the middle of it, you got the Eye of the Sahara. And this, just look at this. What what is this? This is so bizarre. It's such a bizarre thing to see. Like it looks like an eyeball, you know? It is fascinating. I don't know. All right. I'm not saying one way or the other. The Azores, where are they at? This is them, right? Is this the Azores? I think so. It's not this, right? Yeah, I think these are the Azores. It makes sense. I mean, they're pretty far out there. But if you think about 400 feet of water, all of these islands chains would be significantly larger. Maybe it was a strip mine. Yeah, you know what? I could see that actually. It kind of resembled like it was stripped. You know, the Atlas Mountains. You know, I forget his name. Is it David Stig Hansen? It's going to bug me if I don't search this real quick. Hold on. I think it's Stig Hansen. David Stig Hansen. No, that's not right. I got to do David. David Stig. David Stig Hansen. Is this who I'm thinking of? I have visited the Eye of the Sahara 3 times. Yeah, this is him. Okay. David Stig Hansen has been to the Richard structure, the Eye of the Sahara 3 times. He says it on his profile. He's very proud of it. He had a video where he was in a wash. All right, somewhere, I don't know exactly where, north of the Eye of the Sahara. And he found what looked like a metal pipe. Weird metal pipe. Looked like it has rusted out, been there a long time. Really wild. All those islands would have been inhabited 100%. Absolutely, for sure. Because if you look at, damn it, did I close it? I did. It doesn't matter. Man, if the water level was lower, you would have been able to get to an island and then an island and then an island instead of having just a huge long voyage to get to the Azores. The Canaries were there. I think the Atlantis Empire, which I think is what it really was a maritime conquered civilization. They ran basically the Atlantic Ocean. It's called the Atlantic Ocean. The Eye of Sahara, the Atlas Mountains. You know, I think they ran all of it. And I think Sahara was a beautiful place, lush, green. 6,000 years ago, it was the Green Sahara. Then it dried up, and then all that dust and stuff went over the Atlantic Ocean and fed the Amazon rainforest, which then took over all of the civilization that was there. There's a guy who did a report. He said, if we re-greenify the Sahara Ocean, the Sahara Desert, the Amazon rainforest would die. It would die off because the Amazon rainforest is fed by the winds and the sand and the dust that comes from the Sahara. It's like Earth breathes and it goes, the Sahara dumps dust over to the Atlantic, or over the Atlantic into the Sahara. Or sorry, it's late for me. And I've had a long day. Into the Amazon rainforest. It's interesting. But anyway, as far as where Atlantis was, who's to say that Atlantis, saying where Atlantis was, is just like saying where America is? You know, if you're down in the Bahamas, no bad example. If you're in the Yucatan Peninsula, right? Standing in the Yucatan Peninsula, and someone goes, America's that way, pointing at Florida, which obviously is water, right? But then they say, America's also in that direction. It's always also that way, pointing towards Texas, also water. Right. And then they say, you could just go this way and you'll get to America following the coast. It's like, what if Atlantis wasn't necessarily the city? What if it was the land, or like the kingdom of Atlantis, right? So like Azores would have been a huge port because it's in the center of the Atlantic Ocean. They can go over to the Bahamas. Bimini Road is in Bahamas. Like, according to Graham Hancock, that's a part of the empire, which I think it was another port of theirs, right? They got Florida. They got into the Mediterranean. From anywhere they want to go, they can go through that entire river system that was in Africa. They might have had that whole system to be able to feed everyone at the city of the Eye of the Sahara, the rich art structure, right? So I don't know. I'm just like, my mind's open because I'm fascinated by it. I truly think it was a sprawling empire. It's interesting. Sahara or Amazon, there can only be one. According to people smarter than me, that's what they say. That if we make the Sahara green again, the Amazon will lose its food source in some sense, Yes, but it wasn't the city actually described. I see and tend to agree with what you're saying. Well, yeah, the city was described, but it's who knows, right? We're playing a game of like 12,000-year-old, maybe 15,000-year-old telephone. You know what I mean? Plato heard it from Solon, who heard it from, who knows where Solon heard it from. I didn't look back that far. I know Plato heard it from Solon, who was like his great grandpa or grandfather or something. I don't remember, but like that was how they passed information on. They would tell the next generation and the next generation. Egyptian priests, that's who Solon heard it from? Okay. Fascinating. So there was no rainforest in the Amazon when the Sahara was lush and green. Well, think about it, right? If you watch Luke Cavern's videos, right, he goes into these places and he's like, look how fast this vegetation just takes over. There's a temple. There's a temple. He's like, I see temples everywhere. They're just been completely taken over. That you take away that food source, they're probably not growing as fast. I don't know. It's an interesting system. Earth has a fascinating system, and I love it. The Amazon rainforest is man-made. Well, they claim the dirt is, right. The dirt of the Amazon was created, which is so cool. It's like self-regenerating. Just a beautiful. I don't even know how it does it, but it's freaking amazing. And yeah, it's freaking cool. Like, say 12,000 years, DC and NYC, it would likely have ruins still. Maybe, I don't know. You never know. Anyway, that was my rant about ancient history. You know, I love getting into that kind of stuff. So September 13th, we might have Nick Rekieta joining us, which would be so badass. But we got Garrett, we got Flawed, potentially Call, potentially Hora Murata and Sheep Sidian. Sleep Sidian. Call them Sheep Sidian. But I'm excited. It's going to be great. A lot of my family, a lot of you, my friends. I appreciate you. All right. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you, Ashley. Just posted up my throne. If you guys want to get me some diapers, we are kind of running low. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. All right. Have a great night. See you next time. Peace.